What's up, everybody? This is BakaBites. I'm Frankfurter. That is magically average. And today we're talking about how would you describe it? Would you describe it as the
The
enshittification, the
downfall
letdown, the
of
downfall?
anime in
Just,
America.
I wouldn't even say the anime in America. We're mostly
We
focusing
gotta
on the
we gotta be
Crunchyroll
really
store.
hyperbolic about it, though. This is how we get clicks and views. The end of anime
The
as we know it forever.
Yep, and it all started with you. Yes, you listening. It was just you and only you. No, that's
We know
a
who you are,
lie.
Brett.
It
I
Stan.
hope to God
Um,
I hope to God there's like one person named Brett that's just like,
that would be funny. But no, we're talking about the Crunchyroll store today and just the mishaps, miscues, and just overall enshittification of what is going on with the Crunchyroll store. Now, we have if you listen to our last episode, we had our own criticisms about, the Anime Awards, which is hosted by Crunchyroll, and, for good reason. There's some things that they can fix there. However,
some.
one thing that was going well enough for them up until this year was the Crunchyroll store. Like, they offered pretty good discounts. Like, it was Right Stuff. They purchased Right Stuff a few years ago. They switched over to Crunchyroll, and, I was fearful that it was gonna be a bad transition, etcetera, and it ended up being a pretty good one. Like, we still got deep discounts on day one manga, etcetera, got even more discounts for being, a subscriber to Crunchyroll. So,
Hmm.
overall, I was like, "Hey, this ain't half bad." But this year, and it really this past month, we've seen a big enshittification with the Crunchyroll store. And the first tidbit of news, which we'll start with, which is the most current and most newest piece of news, is that
Yep.
Crunchyroll Store's affiliate program officially ends. Emails were sent out basically a day before it was ending. I think it happened Saturday, the emails were sent out, and then Sunday, the 31st,
Yeah.
the affiliate program just ended, which A, didn't know that Crunchyroll Store had an affiliate program.
Uh,
B, just nobody seemed to really advertise it that we, I guess, listened to. So
yeah.
it kind of speaks volumes as to just not volumes. I would say it kind of speaks to just how small it was to begin with. And C, the people that were just like, buy books this last day to help me gain a little bit of money. It's just like none of them, I feel like, were really, I won't say like they've got a much bigger following than us, but like at the same time, like they weren't your larger YouTuber type people who would actually have like a huge sway in getting people to go that way. Like it wasn't like a Ludwig, or it wasn't like anything huge like that, which, fair, it's fine. Know your
Yeah.
audience, but at the same time, Crunchyroll, if you're trying to make money, know your audience. Like the anyways, I digress.
I
So that's the first tidbit of news that we're going to get into, which is just the tip of the iceberg. And I
yeah.
know I cut you off there. What were you about to say?
I no, it just because you made the point right away in that I don't think many people knew Crunchyroll had an affiliate program for its store. Like I had no idea. And it's not advertised well. They don't market it anywhere on their site to my knowledge of being like, "Hey, if you're interested, join the affiliate program," right? It's I mean, you could do research right now to look into it if you can even find it. You might have to go into the Wayback Machine and see what the internet can hold for you. But like that was a surprise in itself of like, wow, Crunchyroll has an affiliate program and it's ending already? Okay. So it yeah, I think the manner that they did it too obviously is very disheartening in that I'm sure plenty of creators out there who had affiliate links were getting money through their links, which is great if they're, advertising on behalf of Crunchyroll, marketing for the store and people to use their links and everything, like that's wonderful. And like literally in the span of a single day, they get the hey FYI, this is getting shut down tomorrow, and then it's shut down. And they're like,
Like
oh,
end of
okay,
month,
there goes
end of very end of month decision of like how
yeah.
can we save some money? It's just like
And
get rid of
it's
the affiliate program.
and I'm sure people weren't like, I that's my whole salary. Like there's no way anyone's making enough off an affiliate program to rely on it as a salary. If you are, that's incredible. Kudos to you. But I imagine a lot of people this would be like, a nice fund towards doing more content creation, like equipment or services to,
Yeah.
edit or whatever the case might be. Like it's a good stipend to help boost your online platforms so that way you could get more following, and then more people will get eyes on your videos, and then hey, here's your link, and it's more revenue for Crunchyroll and for you. Like it's like an endless machine eventually, right? And they just kind of halted
Yeah.
it. So that's frustrating in itself. But again, like my brain when I saw this was immediately like, did anyone know Crunchyroll had an affiliate program for its store? I was like, that was again the most shocking piece to the update for me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I agree. I think it's kind of bonkers that a lot of people found out that it existed and then died like within a day.
yeah, it was
It's
exactly
just
within
kind
a
of
span of a day.
strange.
Within the span of 24 hours, people were like, "Wow, they had an affiliate program," and then they went, "Oh, well, they had an affiliate program. It's gone now." So, but
Yeah.
this led me, at least when I saw this over the weekend, I was like, "Man, I've been hearing so much rumblings on the internet. Not Attack on Titan rumbling. Like, there's been a lot of
Yeah.
motion in the anime community for quite some time now. I mean, at least within the last like year to well, we'll say 6 months to a year of people being like noticing weird stuff on the Crunchyroll store, noticing just very odd manner in the marketplace of like certain items just being gone, things not getting fulfilled, constant delays over and over and over again. I mean, you experienced a couple of these directly as well. So
Yeah.
it got me thinking, and this is what spurred the remainder of this episode, which was like, is the Crunchyroll store finally hitting its like next stage of almost completely removing any and all physical media and just becoming like the digital platform marketplace? Because we've talked about it on a couple of different episodes over the last like year to 2 years of how the fear in the anime and manga communities has been with with after during COVID and post COVID when it was hard to even get physical prints. Like, one, are we going to recover from that at all? Which we have, thankfully. But then two, will that be an opportunity for publishers and distribution companies to just pivot and go, "Oh, look, we're just going to do digital. We're going to go to digital subscription models, and that's going to be our bread and butter." And like, we thought we were in a safe zone, right? We're how many years removed from COVID? 6 years, 5, 6 years, right?
Yeah, 6 years about.
And
Yeah.
we thought we were on the upswing with just the back to normalcy in the manga market. Thank goodness you didn't go to Barnes and Noble and see like empty shelves everywhere or like 6 month delays on your online orders. It was like, all right, cool, everything is back to way it was before. But now we're starting to see either we're at a plateau. If you're optimistic, if you're like me and you're pessimistic, we're heading on that downward curve. And I think that downward curve is leading us towards digital platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's been a bunch of articles, and you've sent them over to me. In which, I mean, there's one from Anime News Network.
I
There's a
think,
whole BlueSky thread. I mean, there's
yeah,
a Reddit thread, etc. It's just there's a lot going on that I feel like we're not getting the full picture, and we're never going to get the full picture until Crunchyroll inevitably will say something,
yeah,
anything. I don't
yep,
think they ever will. But I mean, for speculation sorts, I mean, what we do know is that, and we've kind of been seeing is Crunchyroll is just basically, if it's not a huge hit of a seller, like if it's not a Dan to Dan, if it's not a Witch Hat Atelier, etc., like Freerun, whatever, what have you. Think of whatever big series it is. If it's not a huge series like that, once they're out of stock, they're not going to get that back in stock. They've been delisting what they call slow sellers. And I think that that is entirely shitty because Crunchyroll has the biggest market for anime period. It's not
Domestically, at
even
least, like,
just it's
like in
domestically in the
yeah,
United States, yes. Like there's no question that it isn't the biggest. I mean, you can say Amazon, but at the same time, it's like trying to figure out what new series on Amazon or came out via Amazon is like fucking trying to find a needle in
yeah.
a haystack. It's not
No, it's
the
atrocious.
easiest thing to do. You can do it, but it's not fun.
Yeah.
Um, so we had Right Stuff, which got bought out by Sony, which is now the Crunchyroll store. Right Stuff was there to, recommend things that you may not want is or not want, may not know about. And it's just like, hey, if you like this, you may like this, etc. type deal. Or like, hey, this new volume came out or this new series came out, check it out. Rather than now it's just like you go to the Crunchyroll store website, when you click on it, it's like collect the legends with 30% off, and it's just One Piece, Mashal, Blue Archive, and more. It's just like I don't care about necessarily those. I know all three of those things. I don't necessarily care about it. And then you scroll down
Mhm.
a little bit more, and it's more figures from the top big shows and Hatsune Miku. And then it's like soccer jerseys that are anime
Oh,
inspired and your
jeez.
shirts. And I'm just like, who is this for? What is this? Like
It
this is basically just pushing all the big things in your face rather than being like, hey, you like this thing a lot, here's some other things that we think you would enjoy. And it's really like that's a first and foremost just like a tragedy, but also delisting those things that you may not know about anymore is also just another tragedy in its own right. It's just yeah, I know you have a lot to say here, so
yeah. So, I mean, and we're sharing the article. This is from, I guess I think it's like a monthly, maybe, series from Jerome Mazandarani from Anime News Network called, it goes by Answer Man, where I guess fans will send in a question and Jerome does some digging. He has connections within the anime and manga space to get some, you know, as much visibility, we'll say, into what's going on. We're not going to say like very clear, concise answers because again, no one's going to actually come out and say, "Oh yeah, we're getting rid of everything. We're changing our tune. We're going in this direction." But they'll, you know, obviously reveal some things that are going on in the space. But in his article, he writes, which is it's quite long and quite extensive. There's some like very like, "Hello, this is my take on what's going on" type language, which I
yeah.
find to be funny. But the key pieces to take from this are that Sony has been delisting. They can confirm there have been a number of series that have been delisted. SKUs are being removed, and part of it is what you alluded to, which is slow sellers. It's Crunchyroll's taking the perspective of it's a business. Warehouses cost money. If series aren't moving and they're taking up space in a warehouse, that's lost profits, and that means negative revenue for us. So whenever we can get rid of them, then that space is taken up by something that can move quicker, which means if people want that slow moving series, too bad. But the scarier reason for why certain things are getting delisted that the answer man found is that publishers that aren't backed by Sony directly are also seeing their series be pulled as well from the Crunchyroll store.
Like
So, and you,
Discotech, G Kids, and a few other smaller publishers. I think
but not
Media OCD
but even
or no.
things like Viz Media. Viz Media is not backed by Sony. So the even series that are coming out from Viz, if they're not moving, or as the article goes down to as well, the issue is like if you have series that are very long, like let's say, for instance, Comey. Comey is a great one. You brought it up before we started recording. Comey
Yeah,
Can't
I've got
Communicate is on
about
like what?
100. I've there. I think the last volume is out. If not, it's close to it. It's like volume 36, I believe.
Okay,
But
36, right? Let's say someone wants to buy, they're like, I finally want to get into Comey. The article basically is saying, look, if you have an old, like a series that is long running that has tens or, 100 volumes, it's going to be hard to find volume one because
yeah,
they're not
the
going to
only the
restock volume for series that have been out for 5, 10 plus years, you know?
The only volumes that are available on the Crunchyroll store for Komi Can't Communicate are number 31, 34, and 36.
which are very recent ones, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
so there's that aspect too. And Comey is a Viz Media publication, so that lends credibility to the article as well. There's some interesting takes too that he has. It's talking about kind of the surprise in other markets. So like the article does talk a little bit about other physical media like Blu-rays, which we had an episode a while back talking about how Blu-ray sales for for anime series in the US is like non-existent. Like no one buys Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Like it's
They
at this
they do, but
stage.
it's just like a critical fan who's just like, "This is my favorite series, I must own
I
it."
I would argue more so it's people that do it for the collectability piece. Less so like if it's like a, like a steelbook type or like something that's like a, I don't know, extended variation or whatever it is, right? Like it's more of the collectability of it than like, oh, I'm a massive fan, I just want it on Blu-ray. Because I don't think Blu-ray people care about Blu-rays anymore. With streaming and everything, it's like it's kind of a lost piece of art at this point, which is funny because the article goes on to mention how the vinyl market has exploded after being called dead like 10 years ago, like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like vinyls have just had this massive resurgence because one, there's like a nostalgia piece. Two, it is a collectible as well. You can find vinyls that are insanely expensive now from like not even artists,
I
but
just
like gaming
I just sold a
series and
bunch.
movies.
Yeah, I just sold a bunch of vinyl to my local store that it's like, I'm not gonna listen to this, and it's like, I've fallen out of love with this album or
Hmm.
this band or whatever, and I sold probably maybe 2 dozen vinyls, and I got about 300 bucks for them,
Which
330 bucks,
that's
something like that.
insane. I if I
I mean,
if I
I looked up.
sold
Yeah.
if I sold 2 dozen CDs, they'd give me like, I think, $1.
Yeah, and
Like,
I
here you
looked
go.
up what the most expensive vinyl I have, and I was shocked. It was like $600, if not more.
Whoa!
It it
That's
it was,
crazy.
for those of you wondering, it's the Live at Chicago, Live in Chicago by Wilco. It's their live album.
Oh, okay. I think
Wonderful, wonderful album if you've not listened to it.
I have to imagine my most expensive is the test print for Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. I have to imagine, but
Possibly
like
so.
I don't know. I don't know. I have vinyls because I have a record player and I like listening to vinyls. I think they sound a lot better than digital music, even CDs. So, but the article touches on that too, and I think it's partly like discussing the fact that one, there are strange things happen in the media market where things can fall out of love and die quickly. Things can have this revitalization later on and come back to life, like get resurrected basically. Some things just maintain stability because people switch from dedicated fans to collectibles, right? So
Yeah.
it's an ever shifting market. And I think that's where we get to the fear of, because of this perspective, because there's a realization that like it's a lot easier as a company and a lot cheaper as a company to get rid of physical prints, not have to have a warehouse, not have to worry about increasing costs of production for, paper mills and or like ink or whatever the case might be, right? And just invest in a digital platform, a digital marketplace. Basically, imagine Steam, but manga, right? Where you're buying
And I mean,
licenses for series to own.
and that already exists too. I mean,
Yeah.
if you go to your favorite publisher like Seven Seas, Viz, Kodansha, they have their own digital marketplaces where you could just buy volumes digitally. Hell, there
Yep.
is Bookwalker. Bookwalker's another
Great
prime
one.
example of digital.
And I think
Wow, my brain just blanked there. But yeah, like digital
platform.
marketplace where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah.
just platform marketplace,
And
whatever. Yeah.
to my knowledge,
Yep.
Bookwalker too is unique in that you would actually buy the digital copy of a series, I think.
Yes, and then you can sell it back if you want,
Yep.
or, for coupons, so it's
Yeah.
basically you're getting cash back and you can buy other
It's
books with that,
it's almost like
or points, or whatever, however they use their system.
in a weird roundabout way, it's almost like like akin to a library where it's like you rent it out. You get like 2 rentals at a time, right? And then when you change it back in, they're like, "All right, you get 2 more rentals." Bookwalker's like, "All right, if you
No,
buy
you
one, if you're done, you return it. We'll give you some coupons towards the next one, and we'll give you. And
yeah,
then
but it's
when
just
you're
like
done,
you
you get."
probably have to sell 3 of them back to in order to
Yeah,
get
but
1,
but
but yeah.
but most, I mean, that it's unique in that you're buying the digital copies. Because if you're like when you go to like if you're thinking about like, oh, I have the Shonen Jump app or I have the Viz app, and I pay the $3 or whatever it is, $4 a month now to read, right? You don't own any of those series that you read.
Yeah.
Like you basically you're getting a subscription to be able to read those series. And sometimes if you are able to purchase, in quotations purchase, it's a license. So if they ever lose their license or they don't renew their license, you lose your copy of that series too, right? I mentioned Steam because I just bought a game recently and I don't know why I'd never noticed it before, but I looked and it said, oh, you're buying a license to this game. And I was like, I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
I've always thought that you're buying like a digital copy of the game. Like I own it. Like it's my game. I own it. But I'm like, in truth, if Steam ever loses the license, I lose that game. It's the whole problem that people had when with Apple Music, with iTunes. I can't remember what it was, but there was an artist or maybe like even a collection of artists that were removed from the iTunes store and people had bought their albums like with Apple Cash or whatever, and they're like, "Where the hell do they go?"
iTunes dollars.
Yeah, yeah. You remember those? You got their iTunes gift
God,
cards? Yeah, but they were like,
dude, I
they're like,
spent
"Where do they
entirely too
go?"
much money.
Oh yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
And Apple had to come and be like, gentle reminder, everyone, you don't own it. We do. We're just giving you a license to have it.
To
So
listen to it, yeah.
if we ever lose that license or we don't renew it or whatever the case is, you lose your
Let
copy of the CD or the songs or whatever.
So let's kind of bring this back to the topic at hand and Crunchyroll and just basically delisting a lot of SKUs. So you might be wondering, where can I go to get all these different things? Like, where can I go if I want to get Comey Can't Communicate or whatnot? There have been other kind of third party marketplaces popping up, and I know that the article on Anime News Network calls it out.
Mhm.
But like, places called, I think they called out Media OCD is a
Yep.
website which is apparently coming up a bit, where it's like, hey, come here and we have the relationships with these other, kind of smaller publishers. So, your G Kids, your Discotheque, etc. It's
Mhm.
like, hey, we have these. We can give you some discounts, maybe not as steep as what Crunchyroll was doing, but like we can at least, offer these movies for you instead of having to really dig into a secondary market and try and find them, which secondary market for anime is always atrocious. I'm even scared to look up what that one which had Atelier figure is, or
I
now that
wouldn't
the
do
show's
that.
blown up.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do
But
that.
yeah, like the secondary market for anime has always been awful. So at least it's like we're starting to get these other markets that
Well,
are popping up. It's just a matter of like we
w-
need them to be the things that show up on our, our Google searches or our DuckDuckGo searches,
I
whatever you're using for
Opera. Ask
Opera.
ask
Well,
ask
no, I think that's
Jeeves.
just
Ask
I think
Jeeves.
Opera is the
Browser. Yeah.
browser, not
Yeah.
the yeah.
Um
But
Bing, how
you
about
get the
that?
point.
Well,
Oh god,
so
yeah.
but I I agree. I'm going to add the modifier though to that statement and say that this is only applicable in our market, in like the North American or even like the US based market.
Yeah.
Because as the article also talks about, storefronts are like not a thing anymore. Like they're slowly getting phased out. I'm sorry, but if you have a mall near you, it's probably going to get turned into an AI farm at some point. Like AI farms are popping up
Yeah,
everywhere. It's so disgusting. I'm already like sick and tired of it. I want to leave this earth, like Professor Farnsworth from Futurama. Like I don't want to live on this planet
yeah,
anymore. Um, but like that's another aspect too. And you and I we were both in Japan this year, and we've both got to experience the wonderful world of secondhand stores in Japan for like manga and anime figures and a bunch of stuff. And they're
yeah,
thriving. There's one like obviously there's like the big named cities like Akihabara. There's
yeah.
also I'm gonna forget it. There's a mall, Nakamura, I think it's called. That's like
Oh,
really
yeah,
famous for being like almost like it's basically the entire like half the mall is just different mandarake stores. So there's like a mandarake for like Gunpla and then manga and then there's dojinshi and there's a BL specific one. There's a bunch of figure ones, there's trading cards, there's like a whole thing. So like in Japan, where again, this is the primary market for anime and manga, obviously like it's not an issue. Like this isn't even a conversation piece of like having difficulties finding series, losing out on series, not inventory not getting restocked for purposes of it being like a slow seller or whatever. Like it's just not a thing. It's only
yeah.
here, and it's because here we rely so much on online marketplaces, and that's the unfortunate nature of what we're having to deal with in this space is like we had Right Stuff. Their business model was if it's on our shop, we'll get it eventually and we'll send it to you. And Crunchyroll, when they bought it, basically realized quickly, wow, this sucks. This is costing a lot of money. We're going to get rid of it and just do what's the most profitable. It's the corporatization of it that's making me so disgusted. And again, this wouldn't be an issue if there were other businesses in place that could rival Crunchyroll. But Crunchyroll is honestly becoming like the Amazon of the anime world for us here in the US. Do you want to watch anime? It's on Crunchyroll. You want to buy your anime gear? It's on Crunchyroll. How about manga? It's on Crunchyroll. You want to play games? Some anime games? It's on Crunchyroll. Like, I remember this is me being old, but I was thinking, I'm like, I remember like you'd go to Barnes and Noble or Borders Books and you'd buy a manga. And then you'd pop over to like Hot Topic and you'd get some anime gear. And then
Yeah.
you'd go to GameStop or EB Games. You remember EB Games? Remember that place? The
Wasn't EB
rival.
Games just I thought it was just the, like, Canadian version of GameStop.
If it was, I had it in where I lived. So I thought it was the rival, but who cares? You go to EB Games and you get your games, maybe anime games too, if you can find some, right? But there was like a different. Every store had its own collection, and you never really had a problem finding it for the most part, right? Now, since
Yeah.
everything is just like you're forced into almost going through Crunchyroll, otherwise, you're left to maybe finding like local shops, which the message for this episode is going to be shop locally, please, for the love of God. If you
Find
have,
find find shops locally. I live in the middle of fucking nowhere, Texas, and right down the road there is an anime shop from me. I've been inside once or twice. They just expanded it into the storefront next door. They sell a lot of figures, a lot of Gunpla,
Mhm.
but like they're mostly the figures that you get, like, the Sega Prize figures and whatnot, like that you can win at round one. So it's not like to me the most appealing thing, but it's like at least I know it's there.
Yeah,
And
it's
I talk
something.
and I talk to them and they're like, "Hey, if there is something you are searching for, let us know. We'll try." They were like, "We work with like local shops in Japan to get our inventory and we'll see if we can get something from them to get to you." And granted, the two things that I told them I was looking for are definitely out of print, out of stock, and it's difficult to find them. Which I was luckily able to find one at the MomoCon that we went to. It's actually sitting in my living room. But the other is that Witch Hat Atelier figure, which, by the way, I did look up on eBay. There's not even a singular one on eBay. The last one sold before the anime came out in April. Like it came out like,
Oh wow.
or I think it The show came out early April. The last figure sold like April 1st or March 31st. But the figure that I have now that's on my shelf back there, the Witch Hat, that one, I got that for like 180, I think.
Mhm.
It's now easily like the cheapest one I think is because it's used or opened is $600.
Oh, gross. Don't
Brand
buy.
new, it's fucking $800.
That's disgusting. That's so
It's
gross.
gross. It
Yeah.
is gross,
So, I
but
mean,
yeah, it's
there's
becoming a problem. Just you gotta find local at this point, and or hell, Barnes& and Noble. They've got a great selection.
or
But the
if
fact that Crunchyroll is just like, "Nah, this is a slow seller, fuck 'em."
yeah.
It's so entirely frustrating because it's like it's one of those, not to bring memes into this, it's just shake the fucking person, "You are the chosen one!" Like, fucking Anakin, goddamn.
Well, I
Like
again, the biggest problem and why I kinda compared Crunchyroll to Amazon is that they're buying up these different platforms and or companies,
and then
and
dissolving them.
well, you the hope is always that whatever they're buying is they're going to improve on because they have Crunchyroll has the resources to do so. They have the ability to staff it well and improve it, right? Not to say that it was failing before, but like they can give it the necessary attention and dedication that it needs to just to elevate it to that next level, right? So like with Right Stuff was functioning to our knowledge well on its own. It had a great
Yep,
model. They had a fantastic membership deal. You got like these awesome, like usually like once a month there was some sort of sale going on for different series or different like hardcover type, like what Barnes and Noble does, or it was like the Shonen month, like all the Shonen series, or 25% off, or sign in, or the deluxe editions, whatever the case. There was always usually like a sale. They had their big like mystery bundle stuff that you and I would always get that were always great to open. I love those.
and
I thought they were
honestly,
fantastic.
that's what they really need to do with these slow series. It's just like, "Hey, we got these slow series. Throw them in a fucking random bundle," and then it's just like, "Hey,
I
at least give it a read." Like, you could at least do that
there
because if you have, like, the first 5 volumes of a series that nobody's buying, at least you could throw it in there. Like, there
here's the
are
thing.
multiple yeah,
The
what?
Crunchyroll, to me, I mean, where I saw a lot of like innovation and ingenuity with Right Stuff and how they were able to sell products. Because like most of the time, like I'm kind of depending on what it is. I can be a sucker for a good mystery gift. Okay. Like I like that.
Yeah,
Right Stuff did it right. They're like, hey, $100, you're getting like 250 in value. And it was good value. It was like you'd get like a solid figure. You'd get
yep,
maybe like a couple, like 1 to 2 Blu-rays. You'd get maybe some cool like anime merch of like, like lanyards or pins or something like that. Sometimes you'd get lucky and get like a volume 1 or of a manga too as well. Like it was a good assortment of stuff. And it was always like I always price checked it. It was always like right around to like double if not little like close to triple what you paid for. And it was a great way for them to just offload stuff that wasn't moving. I don't see that same level of care that Right Stuff did to its business at with the Crunchyroll store now. Yes, they
no,
have their one mystery thing a year, and that thing is about as dry and shit as those mystery boxes you find at the convention. If you work at one of those or you're the owner, sorry, but those things suck chunks. Like it clearly they're just like throw a bunch of crap in it. It was the same like we both I've tiered down now. I used to be the ultimate fan or whatever the top tier was because I was like I like having the 4 devices, I like downloading, and I like getting that like little mystery bundle that they give out,
yeah.
right? Man, the one last year was dog
Oh,
doo
it was
doo.
awful.
It's shit, and you're like a yearly subscription on that is like $180. And I think it was like you got like $10 to $15 worth of goods. And I'm like, this is this is butthole. This is shit. I'm like, I'm really the only reason I was doing it was kind of for that. Like I don't have it's just me and my wife that watch. It's not like I have like my animals are watching it on their devices or anything. So I'm like, I don't need the 4. It was mainly for that little gift. And I was like, Well, I'm tearing down. You're increasing the price yet again. Feels like for the fifth time in the last 2 years. So nope, I'm done. Going down to just the middle tier. But yeah, I mean, there's just I don't see that, and that's the frustrating bit, and that's where I fear again, as the article kind of alludes to, this corporatization where they're only focused on the dollar. It's the complete removal of the anime fan, complete removal of the community, the emotions that are driving a lot of the decisions. They're just like, screw that. Our vision is dollar focused, and what is not making us money is warehouses that just have stock that doesn't move. Get rid of it. And so we're losing a
Yeah.
big chunk of this manga market. And again, I try to be the optimistic one. I try to usually come in glass half full, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Hope is you just constantly there. I can't with Crunchyroll store. I can't with Crunchyroll as a whole, honestly. But the store, I've lost all hope. I'm like, I can honestly see within the next 2 to 3 years, the store just becoming a digital only platform where again, it's like there's no more shipping stuff. You're not buying anything physical from them. You're buying digital goods, mainly just manga, maybe anime as well. If you want to buy like a license to certain series, maybe that's what they'll do. They'll change their model and be like, hey, this series that we don't have on our streaming site, you can buy it. A digital copy. We'll give you a key. Here you go. Have fun. But I fear for the worst, unfortunately, which is not a fun or enjoyable position to be in.
Yeah. I think to kind of just wrap up my thoughts on it too, it's just like I know that it sucks because like Right Stuff was my when I finally started buying stuff during the pandemic, honestly. When I first started buying manga and everything else, it was Right Stuff. That was the go-to place.
Mhm.
And to now just see it just kind of be picked apart and torn a piece for parts and basically just kept around for the biggest thing like solo leveling, One Piece, etc. It's just like
Yep.
it's disheartening because like again, I I used to go to Right Stuff. It would be easy to figure out what was brand new, what was the new thing that came out this week because you can just go to what's in stock, go to what's brand new, like,
Yeah, the
the newest
latest to
stock.
oldest. Yeah.
Yeah, latest to oldest. Now, if you try and do that, it's still just like relevancy shit. Like you do
Yep.
oldest to newest, but it's like oldest to newest as or newest to oldest as to like like what link was physically added to their website. It's
Yeah.
not a like, hey, this came out this week. We added this link to the website as like sooner than this other one, and now it's released. And it's just like it's so difficult to figure out what's even brand new nowadays. Like I'm behind on buying books because A, it is expensive. B, there's a lot of series that I want, and
Mhm.
again, it's expensive. And C, I just didn't know when anything was coming out anymore because it was really difficult to, figure out what's new. But I know like I could do my due diligence. I can go find sites that show, hey, this is what's coming out this week or, etc. But like when you're trying to buy and shop for things that are brand new, you would think that like you would push that immediately, that there would be a tab of like, hey, here was the brand new thing that came out this week. Not last week, not a month ago, this week. This is what came out. And we just don't have that anymore. It's just like there's the delisting, there's just the enshittification that is the Crunchyroll store that has really upset me. And yeah, I've also been the higher tier I've been on the higher tier as well. I'm probably gonna move down from that as well.
Mhm.
The only reason I had the higher tier is because I do have a lot of people that use my account. My little sister uses it, I use it,
Yeah.
Toe uses it, and then I've got at least one or two other friends that'll hop on there every once in a while. So it's just like it makes sense for me to have it, but at the same time, like it really is frustrating that I can't go to this one-stop shop anymore, and now it's just like a shell of what it used to be. It
S
is frustrating, and it's
so p
honestly, it just still makes me fucking laugh that Netflix beat it out for the place to watch anime.
which is
That still
that's
to me is just fucking hilarious.
so something really funny before we end this episode. I was like I had just when we went to MomoCon the one big thing I bought was I bought the complete hardcover edition of Thermoroma, which is a hilarious series about a Roman who goes into an old bathhouse and gets teleported to present day Japan and basically can like improves the bathhouse experience for the Romans by what he learns from the Japanese. It's really funny. Um,
Yeah.
but they have it in this beautiful hardcover, massive omnibus. Like it was, I had to carry it around for like
Fun
half a day. It was
fun fact, I
huge.
actually saw it at that store that I sold stuff to. We sold a few more
Oh,
things this past weekend. I actually saw it there this past weekend for $50 used.
really? I mean,
Yeah, and
I
I
bought it
I
new for
thought
like,
about it.
I mean, you should have.
60.
It's, yeah,
You bought it for 60. I thought about it. I might if it's there
I,
the next time I go back. I spent entirely way too much at Momo, so I wasn't gonna spend any
I
money.
was like, I bought it for
But
60. That was 20% off because it's 74.99. But
you also I would say you got it brand new, but the
yeah,
wrapping on it was pretty,
yeah,
ooh.
it was a little if. It's intact. We're good. But the
Yeah,
reason why I brought this up is like I was like, let me test this. I want to see if the Crunchyroll store has this because this is relatively a new-ish release in terms of like it being the omnibus version. No, don't worry. I already looked, bud. It's on my phone. That's why I was looking on my phone real quick. When you look up Thermaroma, 17 products come up in order that it is shown to me on the website. We have a My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu figure, another My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu figure, another Snafu figure, another Snafu figure. Oh, first volume of manga, My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong, volume 20. Okay, not Snafu again, figure. My Youth Romantic Comedy, volume 21.
Romantic
Uh,
Killer,
volume 7 of my romantic killer volume 4.
Kaguya-sama.
Kaguya-sama literally doesn't come up.
Yeah, because they you cannot physically find it on the website, even if it's like, "Hey, we'll get some later," you
But
can't find it. I have 103 things on my wish list, majority of them
they're
are
just
out of stock, and if it's out of stock, you can't
you
find
can't
it
find it.
on the
Yeah.
website. Like,
That's
Blue Box of Volume 17 is on my wish list, and it's out of stock. If you go search Blue Box Volume 17, you will not find it on the store. It is cannot be found. You just get the other volumes of
it,
Blue Box.
it's just
It's
this
entirely frustrating.
it baffles me. Well, one, it baffles me how I can look up Thermaroma and quite literally none of this is even remotely close to what I typed out. But
Yeah.
that again, this is a series they probably looked at it. If I had to guess, again, this is pessimistic Tyler coming out. If I had to imagine, they looked at it and went, "What the fuck is this?" And it costs how much? This shit ain't moving. Send it away. Goodbye. I just yeah. I'm becoming more and more worried for the Crunchyroll store. I mean, I shouldn't say the Crunchyroll store. I'm becoming more and more worried for the anime community in that we're losing a lot of what we used to hold dear to us with Right Stuff, with shit. I mean, like even with like Funimation too, right? It was nice having two big competing streaming services. I know people complained, oh, it's you have to have two different subscriptions. At least it's not we're not getting this giant monopoly of a you know corporation that's dictating everything. Oops.
Yeah.
Now what are we getting? A giant company that's dictating everything in the single market. So, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's really unfortunate, but
stay
what's not
strong,
unfortunate is you guys staying strong with us. We
stay
greatly
strong.
appreciate you guys joining us this week. We will be back next week with a brand new episode, but if you want more of us, please go follow us on social medias at Baka&Co Podcast, wherever you get your social media feeds. Again, we will be back next week with a brand new episode. Probably, if I had to guess, we're kind of coming up on our summer preview episode here. If it's not next week, it'll be
Oh
in
God,
2 weeks.
you're not
Yeah,
wrong.
dude.
Oh my God,
It's
I'm
coming
so
quick. Like, I just
behind.
watched episode 10 of Witch Had to Tell You. I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? We're already 10 weeks into this shit?"
Yeah. Oh God,
It is
it might
coming up
actually be next
quick.
week. I think it's gonna have to be next week.
It might have to be. So, we'll be
Ugh.
back next week with a brand new episode, but until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.